Hey, this is Chris Jericho of Fozzy, and you're watching ramsine.co.uk. Keep watching, please. We would really appreciate it. Please.
Okay, back at Hard Rock Hell. We're with Chris Jericho from Fozzy. How are you doing today, sir?
I am amazing. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Have you enjoyed this festival so far? Been here long?
We got here about 2 hours ago, so far I've seen the chalet and a bed and a shower, and it's been lovely.
Cool, fantastic. That's always the luxuries that you don't get in every festival. Cut straight to it. Sin and Bones, released back in August, first album for Century Media.
Yes.
Was there any sort of pressure to deliver, because it was a highly anticipated album?
Yeah, because I mean, it was like you said, it was the first record we'd done for Century Media, so we also had a lot of momentum from Chasing the Grail. We did a lot of touring behind it, and kind of really got a long way ahead. You know, raised a lot of levels. So Sin and Bones, we thought if we can do a record that's better than Chasing the Grail, we can get along, get a lot out of it, especially being on Century Media. And that's what we did. We put a lot of time and effort into making the best record we've ever done, which every band wants to do. And we thought that we really focused in on what we do best, which is very heavy riffs and very melodic choruses and vocals. And once we were finished, we thought, okay, this is the best thing we've ever done. And as long as we feel that way, it's always cool. But you're always a little bit nervous, well, I hope everyone else agrees. And when the reviews started coming out, and amazing reviews, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, fastest selling record of our career, highest charting record of our career. So it was really cool to see that people kind of felt the same way that we did about Sin and Bones, and that really was the best record of our career.
Yeah, I mean, you've got M Shadows featuring on Sandpaper. It was the first single. How did that come about?
Well, Shadows and I got to be pretty good friends last year. We toured together a little bit on the Uproar tour in the States with Avenged, and when we did Sandpaper and wrote the song, and I wrote the lyric, I always kind of envisioned like a call and response, Cat Scratch, a Whiplash, a Witch Hunt in Black. That part would be sung by somebody else. So I just called Shadows up. I'm like, listen, man, check this out, see if you like it, and see what you think. And he loved it. He loved the chorus, and not only did he sing amazing on it, but he also helped us with the arrangement of it too. So he put a lot of time and effort into the shaping of the song.
A good collaboration.
Yeah, exactly, in all senses of the word. So it was great to have him involved, and that was always kind of earmarked to be the first single. But then when Shadows got involved, it really, just took it to the next level, and probably opened a lot of doors for us that wouldn't have been open if he wasn't involved. So it was great on a professional level, on a personal level, and on a friendship level.
That's fantastic. And so, well, currently there's the current tour with Soil and Breed 77. We spoke to both those guys today. Yeah. What can we sort of expect from yourselves in terms of a live show coming off the Sin and Bones album?
We put a lot of pride into. We are the live show. I mean, we don't have dragons flying from the ceiling and big pyro, and it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of crowd participation, a lot of a vibe, and we leave everything on stage every night, whether we're playing in front of 10 people or 10,000. Tonight should be a great crowd. Festival crowds want to have fun, they want to drink, they want to have a good time, and that's almost what we're about. Oh my gosh, you can actually have a good time at a rock show, and you're going to see that tonight, and especially with bands like Buck Cherry and all that sort of thing. And I think Ugly Kid Joe kind of had that same vibe too. So that's our mission: leave everything we have on stage, have a great gig, and make sure that everybody leaves going, man, we had a great time. Yeah. It was worth the money that we paid to see Fozzy. We had a blast.
Brilliant. I mean, yourself, you've got sort of a very sort of powerful and distinctive vocal style. I was curious, who are your main influences for your actual style of singing? Well,
I mean, you can't really shape your vocals the way that you want them. It's just you have what you have. But I've always loved, Bruce Dickinson, Steve Perry, Ozzy, Paul McCartney, guys, even guys like Shadows. But so for me, I mean, I always liked the higher singers, the melodic singers, and kind of always followed in that sort of footsteps, and kind of been able to take that style, add some power to it. Obviously, Hetfield's a great singer, a great example of that as well. But just try and have as much of a range as possible. And it's funny because sometimes people say, "Oh, you sound like a little bit. You sound like Ozzy," and I never tried to sound like Ozzy. But on this record, we did a cover of "Fairies Wear Boots," and I was like, "Okay, well, if people think I sound like Ozzy when I'm not trying, let me try and see what it sounds like." And dude, it's like freaking Ozzy was standing in the studio. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it worked out good.
That's great. I mean, many people have known you over the years as a WWE superstar. Has it always been sort of a dream of yours to sort of form a band? Because we know you've always been into metal and rock and roll.
Yeah, it was a dream of mine to be a wrestler too. I wanted to be in a rock band and I wanted to be a wrestler, and that started when I was 12, 13 years old. and I've been playing in bands since then. You know, my first band was called Scimitar, and I was in Blackstone Menace and Mr. Filthy and Primitive Means. There's a lot of different bands that I was in.
Like the passions have run like side by side.
Absolutely, yeah. I never saw them as they're both to me were two things that I just had to make happen. It's just who I was as a person and who I was as a performer and creatively. So there was never a division for me. Even like wrestling started when I was 19, that kind of started taking off, but I still wrote songs and played in the bars and, you know, had, you know, songwriting sessions and demos and recording and all that sort of thing. So I've always done them both. I always will do both. And the fact that we've been able to take Fozzy to this level and continuing to grow the band is just amazing for me, because I got to have both these amazing dreams come true, which is very cool.
So you built sort of Fozzy from the ground up and did all the club circuit and everything like that?
Yeah, totally, absolutely. I mean, right from the start, you know, right from the start. And that's what you have to do, you know. We didn't just wake up one day and, you know, and go, oh, I'm going to be the singer in a rock band and then make this some kind of a big vanity project or something. We still do. I mean, we show up in places sometimes and, you know, the stage is about as big as this, but and other times you go to download and the stage is 30 feet long or 100 feet long. So 10 or 10,000, man, that's our motto. Doesn't matter how many people there are, we're going to do what we do.
Yeah, it's always a good way to be that. Sort of finally, to sort of tie it up, do you have a sort of like, do you feel a sort of a difference sort of performing on stage with a band as you do sort of walking out on Raw in front of the universe?
Not really, because obviously you're doing two kind of separate jobs, but the crux of it is the same, and that's performing in front of a live audience is always about just connecting with the audience and like I said, making sure they have a great time and getting reactions. And whether you're a wrestler, a singer, you know, a Shakespearean actor, whatever it is that you're doing in front of a live crowd, you must entertain them, and that's the most important thing. And also, you know, wrestling and music are both very high energy forms of entertainment, very aggressive and very much contingent on the reaction you get from the people in the crowd. Gives you more energy when you're on stage, and vice versa. It's a circle. So yeah, like I think there are similarities, and it's all about, you know, being the party host and making sure that people have a great time.
Brilliant. Well, Chris, thank you very much for joining us today. Have a great show. We'll see you down the front.
All right, see you later. All right, man.
Thanks.